Hey people out there, this is Sam, and I'm going to talk to you about refinishing a ping pong table, what to do, what not to do. I've done both, so I can definitely hopefully help you keep from making some errors. First of all, what not to do. If you read online, and well, you know what, first of all I should point out to you, the reason I have to refinish my table is because there's my upstairs bathroom, and my overflow was not sealed properly, so water dripped down onto my table. I did subsequently go up and seal it with silicone about 8 times in a row, but just in case something happens, I'm leaving this plastic up here, which I know is a little bit jank. But so what happened was some water came on the table, and I've noticed this with a lot of old tables, is that it will it just happens to old tables where they bump up. So you know, if you run your hand on the surface of the table nice and smooth, but on an older table or something that's had water damage or been outside in the elements or just whatever the case is, you'll feel these little bumps and you might think about refinishing it. In my case, I had specific water damage in certain areas that I had to refinish. So at any rate, back to what not to do. Chalkboard paint. The most gritty, disgusting paint ever. I mean, it's good for making a chalkboard out of. It's not good for putting on your ping pong table. And don't do it. So I had sanded off my areas, and upon putting about 4 or 5 layers, sanding between layers, and playing on it, the ball would come in and it would hit the surface, and there was so much friction that it would go up. So like if something had underspin and it was coming, it would like stop and go straight up. I mean, it was just basically unplayable. You know, I was very frustrated. I felt like I would have been better off just not having done anything. So doing a little bit more research, again online, and it's very, very, very hard to find. You know, there's one company that you can find that sells table tennis paint. It's like, you know, $40 a liter. Let me know your experience with that. Feel free to leave some comments if you know anything about that, but didn't really feel like going that direction. So what I got is right here. If you have a blue Stiga, I'm not sure, yeah, Stiga, how it's pronounced. It's this dark blue color. This is a little bit hard to find. I had to go to 3 places to find this, but this is an enamel paint, and it's matte. You don't want to get the gloss, you got to get the matte, so it's a little bit hard to find. But yeah, make sure you get the, or satin, I guess they call it, which is matte in my world. So midnight blue, matte, and as you can tell, the color, even though this last coat I put on is not perfectly dry, is very, very, very close. So I kind of lucked out with that. So midnight blue matte. What you want to do is get an electric sander. If you don't have an electric sander, you can buy a Ryobi at Home Depot for like 30 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever. It's nothing. Buy an electric sander. Sand down all that water damage till it's just bare wood. Okay. And then with this, you know, read the directions. You know, you want to put a couple coats on, one right after the other. So one thin coat followed by another thin coat. Obviously, you're going to want to tape off the areas with painter's tape. Do not use anything but painter's tape. It's painter's tape. It's green, it's blue, whatever. If you don't know what it is, ask your person. And make sure you tape off these center lines here. What I did was I put a piece of tape down, then used a razor blade and carefully cut through as not to paint over the white lines there. Similarly down here on the edge, I put over some painter's tape and just covered the white line carefully there. Finally, and this is very important because even if you do this, it's still not going to have the right bounce compared with this. It might seem a little strange, but you will want to put on some polyurethane. Do not put on the brush kind. It's just not going to work. So go ahead and get a spray can. It's like $7. little expensive, but well worth it. I used this whole can for that area that I did there. And again, satin, do not get gloss. One of the #1 rules, if you read the ITTF rules about table tennis tables, is that they can't have a reflective surface. So if you're playing, you know, you got some nice bright lights on top, and you know the areas that you refinished are glaring back in your face and everything else is matte or satin, it's not going to be good. So this is a little bit more glossy because I just put on my second coat here. And another thing you'll notice about polyurethane, this is kind of important, it's a self-leveling surface. So you can have a lot of imperfections with your sanding job and your painting job, in any kind of job that you do. And the polyurethane is a self-leveling thing, so it's going to level itself out, even though, as you can see, this isn't perfect. I mean, there's, you know, whatever. But it really finishes it off the job good. So go ahead and put on, you know, 2 coats of paint, one right after the other. Do not let it dry for more than 10-15 minutes. If it dries for more than an hour, per the instructions on the can, you got to wait like 72 hours, 24 hours. So just kind of put them on consecutively. So I did 2 coats of the satin midnight blue, and then waited the next 24 hours. So I came back down the next day and then did 2 coats of the polyurethane. And yeah, like I said, the reason I'm doing this is because there's just not a whole lot of information online about how to resurface your table. And I hope this helps somebody. Leave me some comments if you got some other ideas or suggestions. Let me know what you think. Peace. What's up? It is winter time in Iowa, which can only mean one thing for disc golf, is that you know, the tee pads have snow on them for a couple months out of the year, and yeah, it sucks. What the fuck am I doing? What is up? It is winter time here in Iowa, where I live, and about half the time through the winter, if not the whole time through the winter, there's snow on the ground. And I like to go out and play when there's snow on the ground. I mean, I don't mind throwing in the snow, whatever, but you know, it's just at some point I would rather not. So if anybody knows me real well, or you know, watches my videos, you might know I play a little bit more table tennis in the winter time. Then, you know, obviously that's a good opportunity to do that. But I really, you know, really still get the bug for disc golf. So anyway, this is what my friend KVN showed me. Anybody that lives in Cedar Rapids, plays disc golf, would know who, probably knows who KVN is. And you know, he's definitely taught me a lot of things, and this practice setup being one of them. So before it officially fell apart, I've been playing on it for about an hour. I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys what's up. And basically this is a sheet that I've got here, and I have it hooked up. You probably want to do this in your basement, if you have a basement or garage. You know, probably not in your living room. So go ahead and hook the sheet up with some rope. Get some bungees. That might be a good technique too. I think this sheet, this fitted sheet with the elastic on it, gives it a little bit more give. That's probably